Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anna Vanila Arts. I am Anna Vanila, and on this channel I share all my absolutely all my knowledge, experience, generally about everything I put on my channel, especially things to do with art. And knitting and crochet, it's an art form to me. Therefore, I'm sharing it with you, a nice new stitch in red color, and I hope you can see it well on camera. In the beginning, this stitch reminded to me a little bit like it's a bit like little hearts growing one after the other as you go up like this with your vision. It's kind of like the hearts are laid flat, but on the other hand you may see something else in this stitch. It doesn't have to be hearts, it could be anything. It's kind of like nice texture to it as well, and in this color I think it stands out quite nice. On the wrong side it looks simple, it looks basic, and let's begin. Don't forget to subscribe and put likes on my channel and write comments. So the first loop we do not need, we just transfer it on the first needle, right needle. Then we see 3 front stitches. So what we do with the right needle, we put through all of these 3 and we take it out onto the right needle, and then we count 1, 2, 3, and the third loop, which is the first out of these 3 loops, we throw it over these 2 that we picked up in the beginning, and as you can see it creates like a line here, like a bar. Now we put on the left needle these 2 loops, so also this loop needs to be put on a needle. So the loop you thrown needs to be the third, then the second, and then the first, and all these 3 loops we knitted with a front stitch. So 1, 2, this needs to be behind, and 3, and then we see a purl, so we need the purl again. So 3 front stitches with the right needle, we take all of these 3. Now with the left needle we pick up the third loop out of these 3 loops and we've thrown it over them. We hold it like this until we put on the left needle the second, so it's the third loop, then the second loop, then the first loop, and we start knitting this 1 loop, 2 loops, and the third, which creates a line here. Then a purl stitch. So again 3 loops. We take the first loop, throw over these 2 loops, but we still keep it on to the left needle. And then, so that's the 3rd loop, this is the 2nd loop, this is the 1st loop, and we knit it with a front stitch. 1 first loop, 2 2nd loop, 3 3rd loop, and then we knit a purl stitch. So again, 3 loops. We transfer it onto the right needle. With the left needle we wear this loop onto these 2 ones, and 2 with the front stitches. So we knit the 1st, we knit the 2nd, and we knit the 3rd. So purl stitch, let me show you again. So first loop, we make it into a 3rd loop by throwing over these 2 loops, 2 front stitches, and we put these 2 loops back on this left needle, and we knit the 1st loop, the 2nd loop, and the 3rd loop. Now the last loop has to be purl loop, and this is the pattern how it actually goes, how actually is. I hope it's enough for you to understand this pattern. I try to do it slower so that you can see the pattern easy. It's probably not something that you can knit very quickly, but as you can see, it's very interesting, it's very new, it's very simple at the same time. Stitch. So now we do the wrong side, the back. So we do not knit the 1st loop, we transfer it onto the right needle. Then this next loop we knit as we see. So we see purl stitches, we knit it with purl stitches, 3 purl stitches, then 1 knit stitch, 3 purl stitches, 1 knit stitch, 3 purl stitches, 1 knit, 3 purl stitches, 1 knit, 3 purl stitch, and the last one purl stitch. And this is how this pattern looks like. It's easy, it's not very complicated. If you want to, I'm going to show you one more time with the first one. So the first loop we do not knit, all 3 we pass on to the right needle. With the left needle we grab the 3rd loop, which is the front loop, and wear it over these 2 other loops which are knitted with front stitches. So put the 2 loops. Now with the right needle we knit 1 loop after the other, 1 loop, right with the front stitch, 2nd loop with a front stitch, and the 3rd loop which we put over these 2 loops, we knit it also as a front stitch. So purl stitch, and we do it again. So 3 loops over, 1, 2 here. Now we knit them 1, 2, 3, purl stitch, and again, and so on. So I hope you understood this. This stitch is not really that complicated, is good for beginners, and thank you very much for watching and subscribing. I'm glad to be with you here, so I'm sending lots of love to you, and hopefully your projects would look great. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Vanila, and see you soon in my next video. Bye.